When Mommy and Poppy were superpowered individuals running around fighting crime and making the world a slightly better place, it only makes sense that superhero kids in the Marvel Universe would try to join the most Avengers team around. I'm Adam Andrews, and this is the top 10 superhero children who became Avengers. Number 10. Eli Bradley. Elijah Bradley, also known as Patriot of the Young Avengers, comes from a family with ties all the way back to a dark, hidden truth about Captain America. Back when Captain America successfully became a super soldier, the serum was lost with the passing of Professor Erskine, so to try and recreate the results, Colonel Walker Price and Dr. Wilfred Nagel took 300 African American soldiers from Mississippi to experiment upon. Only a handful of these men survived the awful experimentation, and only one of them survived the covert missions and assignments. His name was Isaiah Bradley, or as he was called then, the Black Captain America. This was Eli's grandfather. When a young Nathaniel Richards going by Iron Lad attempted to recruit superpowered beings to create a new Avengers team, he went to seek out Eli's uncle, who had also become a super soldier just like Isaiah, but he had gone missing, so instead Eli lied to Iron Lad, claiming to be a super soldier due to a blood transfusion from his grandfather, and he volunteered for Iron Lad's team. Eli then began using the illegal mutant growth hormone pills to fabricate superhuman abilities. It wasn't until much later on that he did actually receive a blood transfusion from his grandfather and actually gained super soldier abilities. Number 9. Brandy Selby. Right now, the current star brand in the 616 universe is Brandy Selby, the daughter of Suzanne Selby, who became the star brand after the one before her, Kevin Connor, passed away, sending Suzanne on a path of destruction. The Avengers stepped in and had to help Suzanne deliver little Brandy, but unfortunately Suzanne passed away during the experience and attached the star brand to Brandy herself. The Avengers then took little Brandy back to Earth to raise her. Since Brandy's birth, she's used the star brand to fly and survive without oxygen in the vacuum of space, and she can use extremely powerful energy blasts that can take down multiple people at once. The only problem is that as Brandy uses her powers, she also ages herself up, becoming a young adult after unleashing a blast against the multiversal masters of evil alongside Captains America and Marvel. This really worried the Avengers, but they let her join up anyways, and she helped in the fight against Mephisto and the Council of Red. By the climax of that fight, she had become an old woman, and after sitting out for a lot of the fighting, she eventually sacrificed herself to undo all the damage done by the multiversal masters of evil. Number 8. Cassie Lang. As a young child, Cassie Lang suffered from a congenital heart defect. To save her life, her father, Scott Lang, stole Henry Pym's Ant-Man equipment and Pym particles, which he used to rescue Dr. Sondheim, the only doctor capable of curing Casey's condition. Now, sometime later, after the divorce of her parents, Casey's father joined the Avengers, and Casey spent a bunch of her time living in Avengers Mansion. Unbeknownst to anyone else though, Cassie used the time to secretly expose herself to Pym particles, in the hopes that she could be a superhero like her father. After Scott's death during Avengers Disassembled, Cassie began living with her mother and stepfather, and tensions were high. So one night Cassie planned to leave home and join the Runaways, but on that same night, Cassie learned about the Young Avengers. Cassie and Kate Bishop went to the Avengers Mansion and found Iron Lad, Patriot, Hulkling, and Asgardian. Joining up as a new Avengers team, they defeated Kang the Conqueror and saved the world, and Cassie took on the superhero name of Stature. She has gone on as a mighty Avenger, fighting Doctor Doom, passing away and coming back. She joined the MCU, and she now goes by the superhero name Stinger. Number 7. Thor. Now, a lot of people don't look at Thor and think, the child of a superhero, but Odin's son is his name, and back in his heyday, a superhero Odin he became. That made sense, right? I don't know. Back millions of years ago, Odin Borson was one of the first members of a prehistoric team of Avengers who protected the Earth from all kinds of threats, from celestials to temporal incursions. So, when his son Thor set off to become a hammer-swinging hero, he was really just taking after his own Poppy and following in Odin's massive footsteps. Becoming a founding member of the modern-day Avengers was really just a part of that when you think about it, but I think we can all agree that Thor's avenging feats are much more recognized than those of his dear old dad, who has become much more well known for ruling Asgard, having constant wars and battles with the other realms, and just being a big old grumpy grump. Number 6. Hulkling. With a name like Hulkling and the fact that he's green, you may think that Theodore Teddy Altman has some kind of Hulk-related powers, but you would be dead wrong. Funnily enough, Hulkling is actually the direct son of none other than the first ever Captain Marvel, Marvel of the Kree. Okay, but why is he green and can shapeshift? Well, that's because back during the Kree-Skrull War, the Super Skrull took Captain Marvel, Quicksilver, and Scarlet Witch and presented them to the Skrull Emperor. While being imprisoned, Captain Marvel and the Emperor's daughter, Princess Enel, got a little bit too close to one another, and about 9 months, or however long it takes for Skrulls, later, out popped a tiny little Kree-Skrull hybrid with superhuman strength, speed and stamina, and the ability to shapeshift. For a lot of his time, Hulkling would turn into a teenage-sized Hulk as a member of the Young Avengers, but thanks to his heritage, he has moved on to become the Emperor of the Kree-Skrull Empire. Number 5. Skaar. From Hulkling to the actual son of the Hulk. When the Incredible Hulk was banished from Earth by the Illuminati, he crash-landed on the planet Skaar, which is where the Hulk met his second wife, Kiera. Unbeknownst to the Hulk though, when Skaar was destroyed, Kiera actually gave birth to Hulk's first children, Skaar and Hero Kala. Skaar became an incredibly powerful warrior on the ruined Skaar with a vendetta against his father. Luckily though, that vendetta was resolved. Skaar is just a straight up badass. Thanks to his parentage, he heals fast, is resistant to cold and electricity, among other things, is practically immortal, can absorb radiation and control it, can breathe underwater, and even turn himself into stone, among many other things. After somewhat resolving things with his dad, Skaar and Hulk trained with each other, fighting supervillains on Earth, and also aiding and eventually joining the Avengers. And Skaar even acted as a double agent for Steve Rogers on the Dark Avengers team. Number 4. Wiccan. Wiccan, whose spiritual connection to Scarlet Witch is reminiscent of her two twin sons portrayed in WandaVision, exists in the comics as well. In both the comics and the MCU, his existence is made possible by Scarlet Witch's reality warping powers, although him and his brother are eventually erased from existence for the safety of everyone, including Wanda herself. Scarlet Witch later recovers her memories of her children, leading to a mental breakdown and the monumental event known as the House of M. Following those events, it is revealed that her children were reborn through reincarnation. Wiccan, as one of her spiritual sons, has inherited his mother's remarkable magical abilities. Like Scarlet Witch, Wiccan wields magic to manipulate reality, and in certain timelines, he even ascends to the role of Sorcerer Supreme in the future. He has been a part of the New Avengers, Avengers Idea Mechanics, the Young Avengers, and the Secret Avengers. Number 3. Speed. Speed, also known as Tommy Shepard, joined the ranks of the Young Avengers during a critical mission prompted by the abduction of their teammate Hulkling by Kree sentries. As his moniker suggests, Speed possesses extraordinary speedster abilities that set him apart. He can attain speeds that easily breach the supersonic threshold. Beyond sheer swiftness though, Speed can manipulate the molecules within objects, a capability that can lead to explosive outcomes or make him completely intangible. His rapid cognition also enables him to process information at extraordinary speeds, granting him a tactical advantage in high-stakes situations. A noteworthy moment in Speed's journey was a thrilling race against the veteran speedster Quicksilver, aka his uncle. While Quicksilver emerged as the victor, it became evident that Speed held immense potential for growth and development. During this period, he played an integral role in a daring mission to liberate his spiritual mother, Scarlet Witch, from the clutches of Latveria, alongside his brother. Number 2. Laura Kinney. There are a few characters with powers similar to Wolverine, and there are even a few who are clones of Laura herself, but of all these characters, Laura is certainly the best and definitely the most fan-loved. Her powers are very similar to Logan's, with her primary mutant power being an accelerated healing factor, and obviously she also has those retractable bone claws, only she has 2 in her forearms and 1 in each foot. Sounds pretty uncomfortable to me, but hey, to each their own. She was obviously a clone and grew up being made to be a weapon, so of course she has an extremely haunted past, but with Logan as a father figure in her life, she grew up under him, and she even did the same for Gabrielle Kinney, another clone who Laura considers her younger sister, and she became an Avenger and an X-Men, so good job. Number 1. Bloodstone. Elsa Bloodstone is the daughter of the once immortal monster hunter Ulysses Bloodstone. Ulysses trained Elsa from birth to inherit the family business, but using the word Trained is kind of an understatement. As a rite of passage, Ulysses made Elsa face the Blight Beast when she was just a baby. He tried to remove her, quote, weaknesses by throwing her to a horde of great white sharks, and as her first monster kill, he made her face a clip-off and then allowed her to get infected by its blood as punishment for just taking too long. It's all the stuff that loving fathers are known for. But she did indeed jump in after her father's passing, taking up the tradition and becoming one of the best monster hunters in the world. As part of her inheritance, she received the Bloodstone choker, granting her enhanced strength, stamina, speed, and durability, and an enhanced healing factor. But those are powers she did already possess to a certain degree thanks to the blood running through her veins, which is also toxic to vampires, and even if one did bite her, she's immune to the vampire curse. Cool little fact for you. As you can imagine, her attributes plus her profession as one of the best monster hunters in the world made her a valuable asset when she was part of the Avengers. And that's all I got. This is Top 10 Nerd. I'm Adam Andrews. I'll catch you all on the flippy flop. Peace out, nerds.